Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elle, and today I'm going to be doing a new video idea where it is called the romance reader profile. So basically I'm going to be giving you a profile of my reading tastes, like what I love to read in romance. That could be tropes, that could be little things that maybe like the hero or heroine does or the author does, my favorite authors. It's kind of a new idea. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to give you like a profile of my reading taste. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is that I love a sweet hero in a romance. So one of the most recent books that I read where it just had the most swooniest, sweetest hero in it was The Right Player by Liz Tom Ford. So our hero Ryan is just like the sweetest hero ever. Like his love language is acts of service, I think. And like I quoted so many quotes in this book of him doing acts of service for the heroine. One of them was that he knew that she loved iced coffee, and every morning it's like a fake dating, forced proximity, they have to be roommates, and every morning he would brew a coffee and put it in the fridge because he knew that she loved iced coffee, and that was like a little thing he would do for her. And he would just do all of these little things to help her and to show his love for her, and I just love that about him. Like a super sweet hero is just like a killer for me. I absolutely love this book. It is one of my favorite books of the year. I just love Ryan so much, and I love his acts of service for the heroine. I just love that. I think that's one of my love languages, acts of service, like doing little things for your woman and then just seeing how excited and appreciative she is of that. I just love. And this book did it such a justice, and I just absolutely adored it. My next trope that I love is dark romance. So this is kind of, I'm going to mention a couple of different dark romances that I love. So this one is going to be highlighting stalking romances. This is kind of a niche trope, but I just love it so much. So for this one, I listened to this one on audio, and I binge listened to this one. I usually don't love like super overhyped books on TikTok or Book Talk, but this one I really liked. I gave it 4 stars, and I just love like having a stalking romance. Like one of my other favorite stalker romances was the one by Sophie Lark, which is There Are No Saints, I think is what it's called. I'll put it up on the screen. But I just love stalker romances. I don't know why. I just find them like so intriguing. I love when the hero does like creepy shit to like watching over the heroine, and it just brings me joy. And I know like if you're not a normal dark romance reader, this trope might not be for you, and this book is definitely not for you. But I just love it. I love like knowing that the heroine's being watched, but it's the hero watching her. And I just feel like it brings all of this like suspense, and I love being scared. Like I love scary movies and horror movies. So I just love this one. This one is really interesting. So our heroine, she has a stalker, and the hero stalks her, and they play like this kind of cat and mouse game with each other. And they kind of start a relationship, and the hero is helping, I don't know, this might be a spoiler. One of his jobs is like helping women out of bad situations, and it's like a dark romance, but it's not as dark as I expected. But anyways, he helps women out of dark situations, and she is trying to figure out this mystery of her great-great-grandmother, because there's a mystery surrounding her great-great-grandmother, and she lives in her great-great-grandmother's house, like this really gothic manor. And she found this old diary of these weird things that in the diary. So just trying to solve the mystery of that. There wasn't like a ton of plot in this one. There's a lot of spicy scenes of just being like this cat and mouse game. But I love stalker romances. I find them really interesting. And that might not be for everybody, but I really enjoyed this one. The next trope that I love that is in like the dark romance realm is bully romances. I really love bully romances. For a period of time, I would read a ton of bully romances, especially a couple of years ago. I haven't really read a good bully romance in a minute, so if you have any recommendations, let me know down below. So I would love to know and find some more. But I've definitely been in more of a small town romance era and reading just a lot of like sweeter romances, not as dark as I normally do, but this is one of my favorite bully romances. It is very dark and I just love bully romances. I don't know, I just really like it. I love bad boys and romances. I really love bully romances. One of the first books I read in the romance genre was Bully by Penelope Douglas, and that really made me fall in love with bully romances. There's just something about like the hero being the only one that can hurt her like emotionally and nobody else can but him, but then when they have a romance and you see their romance and see him like changing for her, and I just like love it. I don't know how to describe it. I just love bully romances. But this one specifically, our heroine is bullied by our hero, and that's mostly just like the plot in this one. This one's pretty dark and he is pretty like aggressive in his courtship of her. Like he really wants her. This is a high school bully dark romance. Definitely check the triggers before you read this one, but I really loved it. I love the hero. I just love the dynamic of a bully romance, but I just love it. It's really good. It's one of my favorite tropes. The next trope I love in romances is second chance romances. I just love second chance romances. I think they bring so much angst and tension to a story because you're like, well, we already had a relationship, but I don't have feelings for you anymore, but they're lying to themselves. And this is one of my favorite second chance romances. It's an amnesia, marriage in trouble romance where they're about to get divorced and the hero gets in a really bad car accident and he doesn't remember the last years of their life. He only remembers them being happy and in love, not the bad parts. And so it's them kind of reconnecting and falling in love again. And it's really, really good. I love it. I just think second chance romances are so fantastic, and if they're done right, it can be an amazing romance. So, highly, highly recommend this book. I love like angst in books, and that's one of the tropes I'll talk about later in this video, but I love angst and second chance romances. The next trope I have to mention is bad boys. So, I absolutely adore bad boy romances. Like my first romance book was a bad boy romance. It was After by, I don't remember her name, Anna Todd, and that just made me fall in love with bad boys. I've always really gravitated towards bad boys, and there's just something about them. Like the heroine's the only one that can tame them, and I just love it. So this is one of my favorite bad boy romances. Dean, he's pretty crazy, and this is also a bully romance. He finds out that the heroine did something bad and he has decided to hold it over her head and bully her. Is in this setting, in this world of this mafia like university where all of these children of mafia leaders go to get trained to be future mafia leaders, and he is going to be like the next leader of his Russian mafia. And he just becomes obsessed with the heroine and bullies her, and he is a bad boy. He does bad things, but I love Dean. I just love bad boys. They're one of my favorite tropes in romances, and I think they are fantastic. Next trope in romance that I love is age gap romances. I love age gap romances. I think they are incredible. I just love it. I love the forbiddenness of it. I love an older man. This is one of my favorite age gap romances, Inked in Lies. This is also a friends to lovers romance, forbidden, motorcycle romance. I just love age gap romances. I don't know, like there's just something about it. Like I just gravitate towards it and just love it so much, and I can never get tired of a good age gap romance. The next trope is a destined lovers / fantasy romance, so I had to put ACOTAR in here. The ACOTAR series, I just love fantasy romances. And like its whole, like I love lots of different series from like Lord Thalassa, Jennifer L. Armentrout, Sarah J. Maas, And I just think they're so fun because you get to go in this crazy different world that you've never been in with all of these different types of characters and creatures, and I just love them. I think they are so much fun, and I specifically really love the ACOTAR series. And I don't know, I just think they're so much fun, and I love fantasy romances. The next trope is angsty romances. As I said before, I love angsty romances. I love a good messy romance where they really can't be together, but they want to so badly. And this is one of them. The hero is engaged to the heroine's older sister, and they get kidnapped for 2 weeks and kind of have this survival bond that becomes into a romance. And it's very angsty because they can't be together because he is obviously engaged to her sister, and they just like want to be with each other so bad, but they can't. And I just love that. I love angst. Even if it hurts me, I just love it so much. It is one of my favorite tropes to this day. The next trope that I love is mafia romances. I love a good mafia romance. I love all of the action in it, the life or death circumstances. I just love suspense, and mafia romances definitely give that to me, and I just eat it up. I just love it so much. This is one of my favorite mafia romances. It is a captor-captive romance where the hero kidnaps the enemy's daughter, and it is really good. Highly recommend. I just love dark romances, and I love the action and like the enemy feeling in a lot of these mafia books, and I just love them. I think they're so much fun to read and to explore the different mafia worlds. The next trope I love is a good sports romance. This is one of my favorites. This kind of also ties in with hate to love romances. This is a MMM fighter hate to love romance, also forced proximity. But I love sports romances. I love when it's either, my favorite are when it's like a coach and the athlete. I think those are really good because they're, you know, becomes this forbiddenness, like we cannot be together, you're my coach, but they want to. I also really like when they're both athletes and they are in a romance, they have a relationship, or even if it's just one of them is an athlete and the other isn't. But I just really love them. I think they're really fun. I also just love hate to love romances. I love the angst and tension and chemistry in them. This is one of my favorites. Definitely go check it out. It is so good. The last trope I'm going to mention is historical romances. This is kind of broad, but I just adore historical romances. I think they're so much fun. I love being in a totally different like time, and getting to see all of these different traditions and culture differences, and I think it's really fun. And I just love historical romances. I love like the courting of it, how if they get compromised, they have to get married. They're in a marriage of convenience, but they don't want to be together, but then they start to fall for each other, and it is just so good. I love historical romances. I think they are so much fun, and I just love them. So now we're going to get into this other part of this video that I haven't really thought that much through, but I wanted to do a breakdown of like my favorite types, like ways to read books. So I probably read a majority of Kindle books, and well, I probably read a majority of physical books and then audiobooks and then some Kindle books. But I just love reading in paperback. It is so soothing to me. I really enjoy it. I have been listening to a ton more of audiobooks lately, and I just have really gotten into this fever for them and just really love them. And with my Kindle, I just love the easiness of having a Kindle and being able to take it anywhere you want. My next like thing that I'm going to talk about is like what my favorite position is to read. I love like laying on my couch, or I love being on the go and listening to an audiobook. And another way I like to read, just like laying in bed with my Kindle, because it's just so easy and convenient. Now the next thing is like my top 5 favorite authors. So for this one I would have to say QB Tyler, Penelope Douglas, Kennedy Ryan, Gianna Darling, and Catherine Cowles. I know, okay, let me say 6. Sophie Lark, because I just love Sophie Lark so much, but all of these authors are incredible. I love all of their books so much, and yeah, I think that's the end of this video. I don't really know what else I want to say. This was just kind of a fun video idea to do. If you want to do it, definitely tag me in your video because I'd love to watch it. But I want to thank you so much for watching this video and coming along this ride with me on figuring out what I wanted to do with this video. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.